questions and all that other good stuff. So get a quick about 15 seconds or so, then we'll get started. Okay. All right, so the other thing, as always, these things are being recorded for both audio and visual, so make sure you guys are aware of that. And if you choose not to be included in that, please go ahead and you can leave the meeting if you choose to. So with that, I really got, I guess, a little bit of a different thing today. In a nutshell, basically, I really don't have too much of an agenda today, just because, one, we've been basically busy on our end trying to get stuff going for our training and things, and this, and that, and the other, and what have you. But I do have two quick announcements, and just want to go into that real fast. So the first announcement is around the site itself. I started to notice there's been some requests and things, and it seems like, I guess, the announcement from last time kind of started going through. Mainly that anybody, or if you're existing on the site, which I'm assuming if you're on this call, you probably are, within the electrical group, please at some point in time, when you can, just real quickly go into your profile page and add your first name, last name, and company. I think picture is kind of a option if you want, but you necessarily don't have to do that. Because mainly starting around July, August timeframe, I'm going to start going through the user list. And if those things are not filled out, we're going to start basically rejecting those account names. So that way, again, it's mainly just for, your protection and those type of things, to make sure that we have folks within the group that are actually utility or members of an A&E firm or something like that way. So we don't have basically folks in there that shouldn't be in there, or people, maybe even folks that are no longer with a utility or anything like that, who may have retired or moved on. So my plan is to start those around July, August, give or take, so say within the next month. So it's kind of just remind yourself to go out there and just add, like I said, first name, last name, and the company you work for. That's basically all that's needed. So with any new requests, of course, that's going to be a requirement from basically, I think I started doing that last month going forward. So again, like I said, just to make sure we keep everybody safe and keep the things, folks, not really keep them out, but make sure that we're getting creditable and actual folks that can be in there. So last thing I want to say real quick, there's also thanks to Tim again for his due diligence on getting, I think he had a couple on the phone to him, but one of his assignments from the consortium done, or at least first draft, I would say. So I know that he put together a wiring annotation best practice that I put out on the site under the buddy drive under best practices. Right now it's just a draft. It's actually a pretty good draft, to be honest. I know I put a couple comments in, and I think me and Randy's going to kind of be walking through it. But of course, if anybody else wants to take a look at it and give your feedback on it, then by all means, please do so. But the draft is out on the buddy drive under the best practices. And so we'll kind of, get some feedback from that for a little bit. And then once at some point in time, maybe next call, we go ahead and, I guess, finalize it and give it kind of the Rev 0 stamp, and then move on to the next ones. But for right now, the wire annotation best practice document is available for review. If you would like to look at that, again, it's under the buddy drive, under the best practices folder. So that's kind of all I had, and I'm kind of going to, I guess, kind of third script a little bit, and just kind of leave it open forum, an open table, and whatever you guys want to talk about, discuss, what have you, we can go from there. So does anybody have anything?
While we're talking about best practice documents, I just want to let you know I'm pretty close to being done with the block creation standards document. That was one that was already pretty much in the making. Praveen and Joe Weaver, they had a lot to do with this document. So I'm going to get with Praveen and kind of, run it by him to kind of see what's going on and make sure everything lines up before I stick it out there for everybody to review. And
all right.
in the pinless document, let's see, no, not a pin list, parent-child identification document. I'm actually almost through with that one. So hopefully in July sometime, it'll be put out. Both of those documents will be posted.
Okay. You said those are best practices, right?
Yeah, best practice.
Okay. All right. Cool. Okay, cool. Thanks for the updates. Anybody else have anything they want to discuss topic-wise or anything? Or comments?
Has anybody's SDS tools in AutoCAD quit working and then you have to close AutoCAD and open it back up again?
You said the SDS tools?
Yeah.
Oh.
Recently.
Yeah, I remember we were having that problem a while back, but I didn't think we were still having it. So it's come back again?
Well, Lashana said that she's been having to do over quite a few times. So I'm like, okay, I need to ask other people too if they're having that. I know I talked to Anna and she said she's not having that problem. I just wanted to know if other users are having that problem outside our company.
I know, Praveen, for us, whatnot, sometimes we have instances to where when somebody would close the AutoCAD Electrical out for the day and open it back up the next day, that the ribbon wouldn't load. But it was a simple thing of, SDS start or whatever in the command line, and they finally showed up. But we've had those instances, and I think we've had something similar to what you had before, but we found out that our problem with that was we have an internal IT initiative of everything going to OneDrive, basically, that's on your C drive. And some of the documents that I believe that the toolkits are putting out there to run off of are getting stuck in limbo in the early mornings when the syncing starts going on. So I don't know if maybe you guys are doing something similar to that, where you're having basically like a folder redirect, I think they called it in Windows 7, and I think it's now OneDrive for Windows 10, where there's a syncing of all your local documents where it might be getting stuck in limbo halfway through or during some point in time where the sync happens, and it might be getting lost in the bandwidth of the communication between the server and the machine. I don't know if that's a solution. I think that's what we kind of found out a little bit here and there on maybe the 2 or 3 times that something didn't work. But that was a little while back though.
Okay, I just wanted to see if, I think it's just a local issue, but I just wanted to ask if others were having those problems.
I guess going on tandem on that a little bit, have you guys, just out of curiosity, have you guys updated to 7.2 yet?
No, I think we're still on beta version.
Okay, because I went and looked at mine. I guess everybody on the phone call know if you have the toolkit, 7.2 is available, or it was for us, anyways. So I know I'm assuming, and I don't know if Nate's on the phone to correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe June 1st was the target date for the release of that.
Yeah, I know 7.2 has been available. For some reason, it hasn't been pushed out to us, and I asked Bob about it, and he, our support group supervisor, and he wasn't sure about it too.
Okay. Yeah, because I know that they pushed it out for us, but I don't know if it might be something to do with Bob and them on their side. But I think just as a quick rounder up, there's a ton of stuff in there, but I think one of the bigger things was the table tool I think they were showing at the consortium this past spring. I think that was rolled into the new release, along with also the revisioning setup for the revision blocks and things, and some of those tools were added to that with of course there's like a ton of like little fixes here and there or enhancements to existing tools. If anybody would like, I mean, I can obviously take a screenshot or whatnot of the the new list and kind of throw it out there on the site if anybody wants to look at it, kind of see what's new or changed.
I'd like to see
Yeah,
that.
I think, yeah, you can also type in SDS new and it'll tell you all the stuff that's changed in. You get like a revision control dialog box.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I was saying for the 7.2 release, I was going to take a screenshot of that and just throw it out on the site if anybody wanted to look at what all the, I guess, the official release stuff was. But it sounds like it might be a good thing. So I'll throw it out there in the I guess in the forum area, just out in the main spot, as an image file, and now we can just click and look at it as needed.
Awesome. Seven 7.2.
Okay. Is there anything else from anybody else discussion topic wise?
I'm actually looking in settings and I see 7.2. Praveen.
Oh, you do?
I do. Yeah.
I just see better, so I guess I need to tell Bob to do something about it.
Okay. I'm gonna see if I can update. Hopefully nothing blows up. I'm sure it's good though.
Yeah, I think what happened was they had to cut the link because, whenever SBS releases a newer version, it automatically comes in. But Nate wanted us to try out the beta version, which wasn't the normal process. So Bob, something had to happen there where we're still running on beta version, not on 7.2.
Gotcha. Hey Jared, is the ribbon any different in 7.2?
There's a couple new commands in it that I kind of saw, but for the most part, no.
Okay.
I think like in the roll where the little rollover drop down is, it's got like three new options under there: update table, blank table, and title block revline. Looks like.
Okay.
So I noticed a couple of new buttons here and there. Rename, change, and remove, I think, is on here for job order, marked items, project wide. Descriptions, so some things like that. I haven't had really a chance to play with it yet because we're kind of over here at Duke, we're kind of in full-fledged mode of getting our training set up for end users within next coming months. So I've been kind of on that pretty hard lately. But it's kind of just, I guess, browsing around is kind of what I've been looking at. It looks like Nate also added a little bit of different, new or at least some focus on some of the checking tools of things like the grounding CT and things and all that, and the phase checkings. It looked like he enhanced that a little bit more to be a little bit more. I think it says something like reliable or more consistent. I might be wrong. So somewhere around those terms.
Okay.
And I think it also checks from drawing to drawing instead of it being within the same drawing. I think it was one, but I could be wrong. But I thought that was one thing I saw with the phase checking, or if I remember right.
Okay.
I think we're propagated through all the prints.
I have officially updated to 7.2, so everything looks good. I see what you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
I guess we get with Bob to see why you're not seeing it for me.
Yeah, I just sent him an IM. And if I'm not seeing it, then most likely Anna doesn't have it, because I think I don't know if she was on beta version, but I need to check.
I'm gonna check with Michael real quick. Here you go. That drop down. Yeah, Michael has 7.2 also available, so I'm gonna get him updated. We'll figure it out.
Cool. Does anybody have anything else they want to add or would like to add?
Hey, Jared, have y'all come up with a way to mark all components not connected to a parent? That already been resolved?
Say that again. I'm sorry. You're kind of, I guess it's almost like you're in a hallway.
Something that will mark all parents that's not connected to a parent. I mean, all components not connected to a parent.
All components. Oh, or it's basically pointing out or identifying the children that are not linked to a parent device.
Yes.
Yeah, I think, and I could be wrong, and somebody else can correct me if I'm wrong. I want to say I thought that there was an actual out of the box, and I would say enhancement, but ability that came with the auditing tool for electrical, or actually I think that was one of the new tabs or something. Am I wrong about that?
I know what you're talking about. I just haven't checked that. I know it has a lot of auditing tools in that audit, but I haven't played around with that.
Yeah.
And
In the 2018 version of the AutoCAD electrical, I think there's actually a thing in there that actually puts out a list of components that are not linked to parents or something like that. If I remember right, but I can't remember off the top of my head.
so there's no way to visually show that?
I don't know about visually as far as like throwing out a like a layering or something effect or highlighting it green or whatever. I think right now it's more or less you just select on the item and surf to it.
Okay.
Also, and two, I don't know if that's the toolkit function list things to do on the list or not. That'd be something that I don't know if Nate's on the call and if he can maybe answer to that. But yeah, I don't know if that's on his list to do.
And I know this is something I ran across yesterday too, and it just kept killing me. When you're in block editor, and you're in there and you want to do that order to put your attributes in order, it would be nice to have something to where you can select more than one and maybe drag them to the right, the right location to get them in the right order that you want to see them, instead of having to pick one at a time.
Yeah, I want to say that even I think way back in Nate's blog post way back when, I can't remember what the site link is anymore. I want to say he did something very similar to that, like even like 10 years ago or something, with the attribute order.
It would be nice to have something like that. I mean, using that order to get those attributes in order you got a list of them, and you're having to go through one at a time to try to get them in the right order that you want to see them. It takes time. If you could drag, like grab a group of them and drag them to the location you want to do it, yeah, big time saving.
Yeah. Like I said, I know there's something
wasn't there a script that Nate wrote, Praveen, and he sent it to us a while back doing that?
Yeah, I was going to ask, when you mean when you're trying to use the bat order, is that when you click the dialog box and you want to see the attributes in a certain way, rather than having to scroll down all the way? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, when you want to put them in a certain order so that you can have them all grouped together. Even when you go to I forget the name of it, or what's the name that you go into, but when you're in electrical, you want to see them in a certain order. That way, you get everything grouped together in one spot, and not have one here and then one way down here at the bottom of the page. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, what we've been doing is I don't know about the order, but when we're, let's say, creating a symbol, and you have various attributes, especially the hidden ones that you want them to be grouped but hidden. I've been using text align tool, and I pick all the attributes, and then I say I want them here, and they end up grouping together. I mean, they all end up being at the same place. But I know what you're talking about. I don't know if we have anything. Nate did have a tool where it didn't matter how your attributes were ordered in a symbol, but when you clicked in edit mode, in your drawings, and you wanted to see the attributes in a certain way, he had given us a Lisp routine for that, where you could modify the Lisp routine based on the attributes that you have, and it will automatically display it like that, so you don't have to scroll all the way down. I think the way AutoCAD out of the box works is if you add a new attribute to an existing symbol, that's the last one. It doesn't go alphabetically. So Nate's tool modifies that, so you can see the attributes that you want to see always in the dialog box inside a drawing.
This is Tim from Empirical. We actually have that Lisp routine you're talking about. If you want to send me, if you want to email me, I can send that to anybody who wants it.
Yeah, that'd be great. I'm looking at an email. It's something like load, reorder, attribute, def, list, and like typing it in the command line.
Yeah.
That's what he had us doing. Is that what y'all doing, Tim?
Yeah.
And it can easily be manipulated to run on all your library components.
Yes.
All your blocks instead of one at a time.
Now that's what everybody needs, I think.
All right. Hey, can you send that to Jared and I can get it from him?
Sure thing.
Thank you.
Yeah, I would say too, maybe Tim, if it's not too big, you might be able to throw it out there on the buddy drive. If anybody else needs it, they can just grab it from there.
Okay.
I don't know how big the file is. It shouldn't be that large, I wouldn't think, but as an option.
Yeah, I'll check it out if I can. If it doesn't load up, I'll just email it to you.
That's totally fine. Yeah, I can give it to Frederick and give it to him. Does anybody have anything else they want to, like I said, to us, elaborate on, talk about?
One more thing.
Go ahead,
I went to the buddy drive to check out the comments on the best practice document, and I couldn't. I opened it, but it was something with the formatting and everything was changed. There's a lot of weird characters kind of smattered in there. So I don't know if that was a product of me uploading it or when it was uploaded from you. But my document is the only one that has that issue. The other two best practice documents don't seem to give the random characters.
Oh, yeah, I see what you're saying.
So if anybody else has that issue, I guess, maybe, I don't know if they can touch base with you, Jared, on that, and I can see what I can do on my end. If it's something with the document from my end, I can see what I can do to fix that.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah, because I literally just took yours and I was able to edit just fine from the email and just literally threw it out there on the site. So yeah, if you want to check on it on your end to see if there might be something, I see what you're saying. It just basically put everything in DOS characters for some reason. So I guess check your document on your end and just make see if it's, I guess the compatibility is where it needs to be. And then we can try to redo it, or even I can, since I got it, I might try to even just save it as a different file format and see if that does it. But I see what you're talking about. So yeah, we'll I guess everybody else on the call, whatnot, even though it was out there, just give us a little bit of time. Let's see if we can get that that challenge figured out.
What's the file limit on the Buddy Drive, max?
I want to say like 10 gigs total.
Oh, okay. 10 gigs total, all files? Or 10
I believe
gigs?
so.
Okay.
That's probably gonna be a Bob question, but I believe that's 10 gigs total per group.
Oh.
Because it was 5, and then I kind of asked for some more. That's what they gave me.
So it's 5 for everybody else and 10 for us.
I think everybody got 10 because it seemed like, you know, one it's either all or nothing type of thing.
Gotcha.
But you can ask, or I can ask Bob, but it might be easier for you since you're all in the, you know, I don't know if you're in the same building or not, but maybe, you know, just if it's all encompassing, or is it per I guess per folder or per section or whatever. But I think it's the entire. I think it's per group, and that encompasses everything, all documents, folders, the whole nine. So it's kind of what we would kind of limited to Word documents and PDFs, and we can't put any type of videos or anything like that because they're just too large. So we're just kind of using the, you know, the YouTube page to accommodate that with links.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately. But I do know with our last leadership meeting, we did ask for a lot of upgrades to the site, so we'll see what happens.
So I tried to drop that, it's a FAS file into the Buddy Drive, but it said for security reasons I can't upload that. So I'm going to send it to you, Jared.
Yeah, just send it to me and I'll throw it in there. And we'll see what happens. So that being the case, I'm going to actually go ahead and delete the other one out. I'm thinking about it. Okay. Well, I guess we kind of working on that. Does anybody have anything else? I know. I think I saw Terry was on here. Terry, you on the call, right?
I think he's muted.
I got you. Yeah, I saw the whole thing come across. Anyway, if you can hear me, Terry, I think you can. So, well, it looks like it. Oh, he has no mic. Okay. But anyway, I just want to let you know that that the last call, I don't know if you were on it or not from last month, but we talked to Nate about the I think it was like the voltage drop calcs and everything else, and I think he was telling me that there is a ability to do that with electrical out of the box using some of the voltage calculations that comes with it. And I think he was supposed to contact you or somebody in your organization to kind of go through some of it. So just as a FYI, I don't know if you're on the call. Okay, cool, awesome. Just want to make you aware of that while I'm thinking about it. So if he hasn't contacted you, you might want to give him a little nudge. I think. Anybody have anything else? Like, just kind of open table right now. Sorry to not have anything specified, but
Nope. I don't have anything.
okay. I guess as another quick reminder, obviously, you know, our next face-to-face is going to be in October in Alexandria, Louisiana. So that's still on point, or still going forward as far as I understand. I guess as of right now, I still do not know what any if what or any events what may be planned or anything of that nature. But and I do think as well that that there's probably, again, like I said, this go around, there's going to be a lot more, I think, focus around actually operating some of the actual functionalities of things and kind of going through the actual test cases and those type of things, like a breaker head and that type of deal.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully all that will be lined up and good to go.
Awesome.
Looks like Terry's got a question down in the chat.
Yeah, I think he was asking what pinless types do we use for RTDs? So the pinless type value.
Has that been discussed before? Do we have one?
I don't know off the top of my head. I do know that there's a pinless document set that we have. I thought or assumed that maybe it would have been in there, but if not, we definitely can ask. Okay. Let's see, standard documents. Contact type codes. Let me double check.
Here, would that fall under 4S?
Huh?
Would that fall under 4S? 4S?
Yeah, well, that's all in the four designator, but I don't think there's anything that's specific to the RTD. I know that for our enunciators and things, we basically just mimic what's on the proposal, just like if it was a protective relay and those type of things.
I thought that we just threw everything in that fell outside of that into like 4S or something like that.
Say that again, I'm sorry, you're kind of muffling out.
I thought it was, we threw anything that fell outside of that into like 4S, but I'm not sure about y'all documents now, so.
Yeah, cause I think you're right. I think, I don't know, Terry, I don't know if this helps out, but I think Frederick, right. I think with our documentation here at Duke, I think for anything that fell out of the initial set or the list that's in the proposal, I guess, we designated it as a 4S for special contact. I think was the way we initially did it. I don't know if that helps. I think you're right, Frederick. I think it is a 4S. I think is what we designated as for use, but I can't recall if we actually built any with it yet. Have we, Frederick? I don't think we have. With the special contact type.
I can't remember. We might have, but I just can't remember off the top of my head right now.
Yeah, that was 4S as in Sam. You're correct, Terry. And we designated as the expanded description of it was special contact or something like that, I think. So it kind of was a catch-all, unfortunately, for the time being. But on everything else, we used the designated codes that we had in the proposal. But yeah, that's what we used for our, I guess, our catch-all. Thanks for the question. It's kind of awkward not being able to get feedback from you except from a screen. That's okay. Yeah, you're right. I think Terry was basically saying, I don't know if you guys can see the chat or not, but he was basically saying that you know, if there's enough folks on board with adding something for RTD, then we can add it. And the answer to that question is sure. That's the whole point of this, is that if there's a special need that we have to separate or to segregate certain things out, then by all means we can just add to the list. But I guess the only caveat would be is, in my opinion, of course this is my opinion, not we have to go that route, is that we don't want to try to come up with 1,000 different pin list types if we can help. I know it's an extreme number, but you know, I'm just saying, you know, where it gets too large, it becomes unmanageable. But if we all can agree on them, then That way, if we stay on track, then that way it helps out with future automation as well. So. Cool. Any other other additional things? It was actually, I kind of like this where I don't have to worry about preparing for everything. What's going on? And also let you guys give it, basically give you guys the opportunity to discuss about things that may not be in the scope of what of what I'm trying to think of. So. I guess one thing I will say real quickly as well, that's something that we're running into, and I just want to make everybody aware. I think and correct me if I'm wrong, Randy or Praveen as well, I know with the UDH, the Utility Data Hub, that we tried to use it with AutoCAD Electrical here at Duke, and basically nothing worked. So I don't know if you guys ran into that as well with your end, with your stuff.
I haven't used
I know
it at
that
all.
I know we sent it back to Dan Gerlach, and that was back in, I want to say April or somewhere around March, April timeframe. And as of last week, they still haven't found a solution. And for some reason, it's just AutoCAD Electrical where it's not pulling out the X data information, even though it's there. So, like, I guess the thing is that with the electrical side, they want you, or not want you, but I think the idea is that you go use the marking tool or the add remove little button that highlights it in green, yellow, or magenta, or whatever it was. And then once you added that, it automatically applied the work order number and the status into the X data of the block. And then that's supposed to pull, when you run the Utility Data Hub, it's supposed to pull that data into the list and put add, removed, whatever it might have been for that data. And none of that's being pulled over. So, and I think Dan's saying that he's trying to figure it out, but I just want everybody to know if you are trying to use it in electrical specifically, because Inventor seems to work, or I think it works better than what the electrical side is doing. They're still working on a solution to fix those. I don't know if you want to call them bugs or just absolute not working. But it will pull data out of it. It's just missing the work order number designation and the statuses that you assign it. So it's missing all that data. But as far as pulling a bill of material into it, all that seems to work. But it's just kind of missing in our view, kind of one of the main points of it. So I didn't know. I guess I was just curious why I had you two on the phone, Praveen or Randy, if y'all ran into anything like that on your end. I just didn't know if it was an isolated incident with us.
No, we do have a problem. I don't think we use a Utility Data Hub, but we use the SDS Enterprise tool. I think it was customized for us, and we're having an issue where when we assign something to be loaded into our bill of material database, it needs to have a certain X data that's pulled from these blocks, and it's not recognizing that. And Dan is aware of it too, and for some reason they can't even figure that out, like what's really going on.
Okay, yeah, it sounds like it's the same thing that's happening on our end. Yeah, it's actually in the block. It's there. If you do a list view and or to pull the command line up, you can see it if you do a list a list on it, but it's not pulling it into the system. So yeah, I think it's okay. It sounds like it's common. Okay. Okay, yeah, I was just kind of curious. I don't know if anybody else is using the UDH tool or not currently, with electrical specifically. I guess just if anybody else using it, either empirical or anybody else on the phone.
No, we're not using it here yet.
Okay. Okay, it sounds like Terry said that they're supposed to use it in the next coming months. I guess we'll be looking forward to your your testing as well, I guess, at that point in time. See what you come up with. Hopefully, yeah, hopefully hopefully everything should be figured out by then. So, hopefully the heartache is just on our side, and then you get to reap the benefits. So I guess the big good thing about it is at least we're finding out these things and we're letting them know, and hopefully they can find a solution. That's the main thing. So I know for right now, basically, I'm just using an in-house routine to pull our stuff out currently. So no problem, Terry. No problem. I know I keep thinking up, but anything else from anyone else? I'm gonna start calling people out in a minute.
I got nothing. I called myself out.
There you go. Actually, since we got too many people down here, let's go down the line. I guess, Armand, you got anything you want to add or discuss?
No, not right now. I'll be a little bit more prepared next month, probably.
There you go. Appreciate it. I guess, Mr. Is it Matthew Heath? Am I saying that right?
Yeah, I'm at the point of listening at this point. We're still setting up our whole AutoCAD electrical and SDS system here.
Okay.
So I'm picking up a lot of information from you guys. That's about it right now. Hopefully down the road I can participate a bit more, be a little more useful to you.
Oh, that's fine. Yeah, that's fine. I think one thing I will add to that point, one thing I know personally I like to try to do eventually at some point in time is, I know that we internally at Duke have put together a document on kind of what you need to look for, how to download the software, all that type of stuff. Basically what we call a standard position statement. So I was kind of thinking at some point in time that we can maybe try to put one together for this organization. So basically, in a nutshell, what it is kind of a document you go to, and it kind of describes what you need to look at, what requirements that you need to have for your machines, what type of organizational structure you might want to put together. So basically taking all that information that we've kind of demoed or presented over the years and kind of put all into a document so you can take that and run with it if you're new to this. As more or less not necessarily requirements, mainly just kind of like guidelines, and then you can take it from there, however best fits. So hopefully that'll be a thing that we can come up with in some short order as well. So I think that might help out some folks, especially just kind of learning at the beginning stages.
Yeah, what I've found is there's a lot to set up, and trying to figure out what to do first, what's most important to get complete before proceeding to the next step. And,
Yeah, it's really just kind of trying to identify what your foundation is. Like if you're building a house, what's the soil level going to be like, and then we're going to dig down, and then just the process, more or less. But unfortunately, I guess the challenging part of it right now is that we're all so unique in the end product is exactly the same, regardless of who you are, but the process of getting it there is so unique depending upon where you're located. So yeah, that's going to be kind of some of the challenges. But hopefully we can get something together, at least from even if anything, a high level point of view to where it can maybe point somewhere in the right direction. And then definitely there's always the opportunity to discuss with the folks who's kind of been there for the last few years and things. And I'm pretty sure Randy's the same way, and Praveen to a degree, that we definitely, from a Duke and Southern perspective and Nashville and folks have been in it for a while, of what not to do, since we kind of been there, done that. Yeah. I'm pretty sure. So yeah, so we'll definitely can utilize that for sure. I would say, okay, awesome. I would say Frederick, but we'll be here for another hour if I let him talk. So.
Me?
I'm kidding.
I already had our powwow yesterday, but just to the guy that was just talking on the phone, I would just tell him, say, hey, look, one thing that you want to do after you get everything set up, try to identify the parts that you want to make and try to create those parts and get your block library up. That's going to be the most crucial thing that you can do, in my opinion. So as soon as you can get up to that, everything else, kind of falls in place, and you can kind of go along. But getting that block library up is going to be crucial.
Mm-hmm. That's number one.
Exactly. And that's it, Jared.
Wow, I'm proud of you. Let hold it back. I guess, yeah, we're getting away from that. Mr. Is it Mender? Am I saying it right?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, you go ahead.
Yeah, Jason Meter. Yeah, I'm just kind of like the other guy, just sort of listening in here and picking up pieces, waiting for like those starting up documents to come together. Those would be really helpful down the road for me, I'm sure.
Yeah, well, hopefully. I think that's kind of some of the goals of these best practices. Is again, they're recommendations from folks who's been kind of using it for a while. Here's what you might want to do, might not want to do, that type of thing. So that's kind of the purpose. So hopefully, you don't have to start from scratch. It's kind of the goal, right?
Yeah.
And then, of course, what helps us out, what the benefit for us who's been doing it is that we get more feedback from outside people kind of looking in. So it's not really, I guess, not very favored or that type of thing. So if we got to make changes or modifications, we can get that feedback. All right. So, definitely. But if do you have anything additional or anything you would like to add in the next 7 minutes?
No, that's it. I'm good.
Okay. Praveen, anything?
I'm good.
All right. Mr. Terry, all good? All right. Mr. Richardson? Yeah. Sean? See the mic trying to come on.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, we're in the same. I work at Baltimore Gas and Electric with Randy Eckroad and Rick Ortiz, and we're in the same boat. We're trying to get everything up and running. We're at the process where we're trying to identify the block library information now. So we're in the beginning stages, just here to kind of listen and learn.
All right. Okay, awesome. Anything questionable-wise that you might want to discuss? Or
not at the moment. Nah, I'm good.
Okay.
Thanks.
No problem. I guess Mr. Timler, or Tim T, as it's good.
I really got nothing to add except I'm 20%, 25% through the cabling best practices document, and so it's kind of getting a little bigger and a little bigger and a little bigger, and so I'm kind of maybe looking at how I can rein it in, or maybe look at some more specific points instead of being like maybe referring to the SDS toolkit help or the Autodesk help instead of rewriting stuff that's already available. Kind of what I'm kind of walking a line, I guess, on how much I should retype in there to put in that document as opposed to referring to other documents. Maybe I could put some links in there or something. So anyway, that's just the update on that best practice document. And I will.
Okay, that was the cable one, right?
Yeah. And so I'll look at the annotation document again, or see if I can figure out what. It opens fine on my end. It's only when I upload it to the site and look at it where something's messing up. So look at that.
I think if anything, if you wouldn't mind, maybe, or I can even do it. It doesn't matter if you want to PDF it and throw it out there. At least,
Yeah, sure.
But that way we have something. Then we can kind of run off of that a little bit.
Yeah.
Until we figure out what the issue would be. Okay.
Are
you wanting to do that, or are you wanting me to do that?
I mean, I can do that and send it to you. That's fine.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine. I can basically what I did, I actually added comments to your original Word document, so I can just actually add those to the PDF as well, and then I'll throw it out there.
All right. That's all I got.
All right. And last but not least, Mr. Randy Williams. Randy.
You're doing a good job, Jared. That's all I got.
There we go. All right, well, cool. Actually, we used up our hour, and then actually, I think we hopefully got something achieved. Definitely like doing it this way because, again, like I said, I don't have to prepare for like 2 or 3 days ahead of time. It works out well. So again, appreciate everybody's input. So hopefully, I think if I remember right, the way everything's working out, the next meeting should not run into any type of vacation issues. I'm assuming. As far as holidays, those type of things. Of course, if you're on vacation, then by all means go. Again, I apologize for pushing it out a week, but me and Randy both were kind of, I guess, MIA with some personal things that I know mine and I think on his as well that we had to take care of. So thanks again for being dedicated and allowing us to push it out for a week. So with that, again, appreciate it. Appreciate your time. Won't take too much more of it. Actually, give you back a couple minutes, and we'll talk again in another month, or in this case, 3 weeks.
All right. Yeah, have a good one.
All right.
Have a good rest of the afternoon.
Thanks, Jared. Thanks,
Bye-bye.
everyone.
No problem.